In this video, I'm going to explain to you everything you need to know about the ternary operator, which is something you see all the time, but probably shouldn't be using as much as you do. Let's get started now. How many times have you had an amazing project idea only to get stuck in the boilerplate of doing authentication and payment processing and eventually just giving up on the idea because you never get to build the actual fun code? Well, luckily for you, DivJoy is here to solve all of those problems for you. DivJoy is essentially the boilerplate generator for you that is going to give you not only the boilerplate for authentication, payments, and so much more, but also it has a really great UI that you can use to build out your own user interface for your site, export all of that, and then you have a functional site that not only looks good, but also works perfectly like you want it to, and you can go from there with their well-structured code. So I highly recommend you go to divjoy.com/WDS, and you're going to get $20 off purchase of DivJoy, which is good for a lifetime. So make sure you check that out. I'll link it down in the description below. Welcome back to Web Dev Simplified. My name is Kyle, and my job is to simplify the web for you so you can start building your dream project sooner. So if that sounds interesting, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. And to get started, I have this really basic code setup where we have a number variable, we have a result, which we're going to be setting to some string here, and then we're just logging out that result. And we're simply doing an if check here, saying if the number is greater than or equal to 50, we set the result to not to 50. Otherwise, we just set it to it could be worse. As you can see here, since our number is 50, we print out not to 50. We change it to 5, you can see it prints out it could be worse. Just a really basic if statement. And one thing that you'll commonly see with these really simple if statements is people are going to take these and turn them into a ternary operator. So let's just come down here a little bit and I'll show you how to do this with a ternary operator. So first we're going to break down the if portion. And in order to do a ternary operator, you have three parts. You have some stuff in the beginning, a question mark, some stuff after that, a colon, and then some stuff after that. So everything that goes at the beginning before the question mark is going to be your if. So it's essentially all of the code here inside of your if statement. So we're just going to copy that and paste it down here. So we're saying if the number is greater than or equal to 50, then we do the things between the question mark and this colon here. So we're going to set the result to not to 50. And then everything after the colon is going to be what happens inside the else. It's saying if number greater than 50, do this, otherwise do this. And one thing that's really nice about the ternary operator is it actually returns a result. So we can say result is equal to our ternary operator, and then we can just put our text here of not to 50 if number is greater than or equal to 50. Otherwise, we can put our text of it could be worse inside of here for the else portion. And now we have an operator in JavaScript which takes in an if condition, a true result, and a false result, and it's going to return to us either the true result or the false result, depending on what this number is, this if condition. So now if we comment this out and we run this again, you'll see we get it could be worse. If we change this back to 50, you can see not to 50. So this code works exactly the same as this if statement up here, but it is much more condensed. You can see everything is done on just one single line, as opposed to here taking up 5 different lines. And since we're setting result equal to something, we are able to remove that duplicated code here and condense it into this one single ternary operator. Now that may seem great, and in this use case it really is. It saves you a ton of code and makes working with this number greater than 50 if check much easier, and in general I would say that this is a perfectly good use case for the ternary operator. But it's really the only good use case for the ternary operator. Unless the only thing you're doing is checking a single if condition and doing one thing or another thing, and it returns a result that you set to a single variable, that is the only time I think a ternary operator is a good idea, because otherwise it makes your code more complicated to use. Let's imagine that we have some user variable. So we'll just say const user. We'll just set it to an object. You can imagine that this user does a bunch of different things. Now we can, for example, inside of here, let's just get rid of all this code, and we can say if the user dot valid. So if the user is valid, then we want to do something. We'll say we're going to save the user. Otherwise, if the user is not valid, what we're going to do is put that colon, and we're just going to say print, errors. So now what we're doing is we're not actually returning anything from this ternary operator. What we're doing is we're checking a condition, and then we're executing one set of code, or we're executing another set of code, depending on whether this condition is true or false. While technically this is correct, and this would work if we had a user that had all of these properties defined on it, this would work, but it's a really bad use case for a ternary operator, because we're not actually returning anything from the ternary operator. We're just branching our code into two separate branches. And when you put your code on one line like this, instinctively, when you're scanning through the code, this does not look like a branch. It does not look like two different things could happen. It just looks like one single thing happening. So I would say if you're going to write code that has side effects, for example, calling a function or doing something else other than returning an object or a value, I would never use a ternary operator. I would write this out where we say if user.valid, then what we're going to do is save the user. Otherwise, we're going to print out the errors. So user.print errors. This is how I would write this code because it's much more explicit exactly what's happening, and you're branching between two different paths of saving and printing errors, and this ternary operator does a bad idea of actually explaining that to the user. So now let's get rid of all this, go back to our number example that we had before. But what if we had like a triply nested if? So if the number is equal to 0, then we want to set the result equal to you have nothing. Then let's say we'll do an else if here, and we'll say if the number is less than 10, we'll say that, whoops, you have very little, else we can set the result here equal to you have a lot. And now if we save, you can see it says you have a lot. If we set this equal to, for example, 9, it'll say you have very little, and 0, it's going to say you have nothing. So this code works fine. How would we convert this to a ternary? Because as you can see, we're taking essentially one variable result and we're just setting it to a single static value of a string here, a string here, and a string here. Seems like a great use case for a ternary. So let's get started writing on a ternary. We can say result is going to be equal to here. We know our first check is number equals 0. And then here, if that's true, we're going to return you have nothing. Then else, if that's not true, we have another if check. So what we need to do is actually nest a ternary inside of here. So inside of parentheses, we're going to put another ternary check. So if the number is less than 10, then we're going to return you have very little. Otherwise, if that's not true, we can return you have a lot. Now if we save, you can see it still says you have nothing. Change it to 9, you have very little, especially if we comment this out, you can see it works. And we change it to 12, it says you have a lot. So this code technically works. And it does technically follow my rule where you're setting a single variable to some static values here. You're not doing any side effects or anything, but this is again a terrible use case for ternaries. You should never nest a ternary statement because just looking at this code is a nightmare. It's really hard to figure out what's going on. It's really difficult for your brain to wrap around where all the different if, else, and else ifs are. And reading this code is just difficult to do. While up here, this normal is if-else code here, this is really easy to read. If number equals 0, do this. If it's less than 10, do this. Otherwise, do this. That is super straightforward. I could read this in a few seconds, but down here, this is going to take a while for my brain to churn through and actually figure out what's going on. Even though I just wrote this, it's still confusing to look at. So if you ever are thinking about doing nested ternaries where you have ifs and else ifs and elses, never ever do this with a ternary. This is just difficult to read, it's difficult to parse, and just makes your code overall much worse than just doing a normal if-else statement. Because something important to know is that writing code is not about writing the shortest, most concise code, it's about writing the code that is the easiest to understand and the easiest to read. So even if that means your code is 10 times as long, if it's easier to understand, easier to read, and easier to maintain, that is much better than writing everything out in one single line. And that's all there is to the ternary operator. If you want to learn more about this ternary operator, I have a blog post written about it you can check out in the description down below. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day.